2, 3 and 4 in relation to those parts.
Chair.
The Honourable Minister.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. Good to see you back again. Mr. Chair, just to try and set out, again, this is a major piece of legislation, and Part 5, of course, brings another part to the equation, which is about the provisions to enable owners of Māori freehold land to appoint governance bodies to represent them in relation to Māori land, and also to allow the Māori Land Court to appoint kai whakahaere, which has been the point of discussion from some members a little bit earlier, to act as agents for the owners when there is a clear need to do so. So one of the main features of the bill is a new governance framework for Māori freehold land. This part shifts the right to appoint and form governance entities to the owners of the relevant freehold land themselves. This is to be done through a process of decision-making and registration instead of requiring a discretionary decision from the Māori Land Court by way of application, hearing and adjudication. So this change is consistent with the principle of rangatiratanga that is at the forefront of this particular piece of legislation, and contributes to a new framework in which the aspirations of owners for their land is supported and facilitated. So the bill provides a wide range of options for structuring governance bodies and governance arrangements, with compliance measures limited to those things essential to ensure that the process is fair and absolutely transparent. This means that owners will be able to set things up to suit their own needs and aspirations, their own tikonga, as well as their own preferred way of operating, whether that be with a commercially orientated focus or with a strong conservation focus. So it's been clear for some time that owners have been looking for more flexibility and more options setting up governance arrangements. The rangatōpu model responds to that call for better alternatives to ahu whenua trusts. Owners will be able to form an entity under other legislation to be their rangatōpu, such as a company, or they can form their own private trust. So this will not disturb the current structure or constitution of existing ahu whenua trusts, whenua tōpu trusts and Māori corporations, which can continue unchanged under the bill. They have a choice to move in or transition into the new rangatōpu model, but they will not be compelled to do so. This part also sets out a clear, straightforward legal framework within which governance bodies may operate that protects the interests of owners if things actually go haywire, go wrong. Specifically, sir, about the kai whakahaere discussion that's going to come up tonight, this bill provides a mechanism for the Māori Land Court to appoint a person as a kai whakahaere to act as an agent of the owners of Māori land that does not have a governance arrangement in place. This regime is similar to that found in the current Act and has been part of the legal framework for Māori land since 1974. The role of a kai whakahaere is to represent owners for mostly one-off, specific issues such as responding to a notice issued by a local authority or implementing a decision by the owners or of the owners. The kai whakahaere regime supports the principle of whakawhanake, development, and taonga tuku iho as it involves the owners. And this is within the purview of the court and is a protective mechanism, absolutely. So, sir, those are some of the points I'm sure that as a starting point for our discussion this evening, and I'm sure that when we get to some of the parts of the amendments presented by Penny Henare or whoever else is moving those amendments, we'll be able to flesh those out a little bit more. Ka nui te mihi.
Chair. Adrian Ururoa Flavell.
Tēnā